Welcome to New Life Live with host and founder of New Life Ministries, Stephen Arterburn. New Life Live is dedicated to transforming lives one at a time, thanks to the giving hearts of you, our listeners. Our goal is to provide you with wisdom from God's Word to give you hope and help in life's hardest places. If you have a question you'd like to ask today, our phone lines are open. Call 1-800-229-3000. That number again is 1-800-229-3000. Now here's Steve.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are when you're listening to this. This is obviously not Steve, it's Becky Brown, and I am with Dr. Jill Hubbard and Dr. Alice Benton. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Becky.
Hey, folks.
Listen,
Hey, Alice.
It's Monday morning, and I'm really, Monday afternoon, wherever you are, and I'm so excited we have a whole new week. Isn't that exciting?
Fresh
Maybe.
start. Yes.
I know. See, well, you know.
I don't
but
know if I'm as excited as you, but okay. I'll
listen,
play
you'll
along.
get there. You'll get
Okay.
there, Jill. You know, we're getting ready to, there's a lot of kids that are already gone back to school, and I think that there's so much that we can learn all along the way. You know, it doesn't matter how old you are, if you're in first grade or you're still just learning, no matter how old you are. There are three concepts in New Life that we talk about all the time: truth, connection, and transformation. And so I went to school last week because as a professional, we have to do continuing education all the time. And sometimes they're really boring classes, just like everybody else's, right? Mm-hmm. You guys know that.
Yep.
But then other times it's like, oh my gosh, I learned something and I've been thinking about it ever since. And so before we started the show, I told Jill and Alice, I go, we're going to talk about dopamine today. So dopamine is a neurotransmitter in your brain that is, it's how we're wired. And the title of the class was Looking for Dopamine in All the Wrong Places. And so it's one of the strongest neurotransmitters that we have, and connection is the very best way to get dopamine. Now, the hard part is, because we talk about addiction all the time, we can get dopamine hits from a lot of, not authentic places. You think about how God has created us for connection. And, the Trinity is the perfect small group and all of that. But I just think it's important for us to recognize that we do need to connect with other people. And, I would love for you to kind of chime in on that.
Well, and dopamine is the culprit for adolescence, and why adolescence is challenging, because they have a spike of dopamine in adolescence, which is, it's the feel-good, pleasure-seeking neurotransmitter, right? And so this is why we see kids not always consider cause and effect and make impulsive choices because they just want to have fun.
Right.
And I want to bring the social media aspect into this too.
Oh, yeah.
Because parts of programming in social media and in video games are specifically engineered to use our dopaminergic system to keep people scrolling, to keep people looking for likes, to keep people coming back for more, and with a purpose of drawing us into addictive behavior online, because our time and our attention is what's wanted by those platforms. And it works. They know what they're doing.
It does.
They must have taken your class, Becky.
Well, you gave us a big new word for the day. Say it again. What is it?
Dopaminergic pathway.
Wow. Now, see, that was we're tuning in for today, right there.
I'm
done.
I'm done.
Here's the thing that we want you to know here at New Life. We want you to experience positive connection, because that's how God created you. And we have small groups, we have counselors, we have all kinds of things that will help you get connected. Sometimes there are blocks in your connectivity due to past trauma and all kinds of emotional wrecks. We have the online emotional freedom workshop this Saturday that you could take and begin the process of healing some of those past wounds and learn what true connection is like. Because all of our workshops feature main teaching sessions, and then we have breakout groups that are led by a licensed clinician. And, even though you may think, well, I'm doing okay, listen, it's time to really improve your connectivity. It makes all the difference in the world. We'll be right back.
It had become very apparent that some of the things I was involved with were taking over my life.
In today's world, men are barraged with inappropriate content and images all day, every day. Some say that certain behaviors are just no big deal. It's just part of being a guy. But it's simply not true. It's a battleground for every man, and the opportunities to fail are everywhere. The New Life Every Man's Battle online workshop can help.
After 7 years, he just one weekend, I completely changed man.
For over 20 years, New Life Ministries has been helping men regain their integrity and purity through their one-of-a-kind Every Man's Battle workshop.
He said, I think this is something that every man should go to. Married, dating, it was definitely life-changing.
Now the workshop is coming to Houston, September 10th through the 12th. Don't wait for him to call. To find out more, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE or go to newlife.com. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Yes, ma'am.
Very good.
Welcome back. We are going to take your calls right now, and by we, I'm talking about Dr. Jill Hubbard and Dr. Alice Benton, and you can call us at 1-800-229-3000, and we will be happy to help you in any way possible. We are going to talk to Mina, who's calling us from North Carolina, Durham, listens on the internet, and we're so glad you called. How can we help you, Mina?
Good day. I'm not sure what your time is where you are, but
that's right.
I'm calling because I'm on the East Coast, so it's I would say afternoon, but it could be morning. So I'll
that's
say
right.
Good day.
Good day.
I'm calling because I tried calling my sister this morning just to, after much prayer and consultation with my own counselor, to just bring to her attention some concerns that my daughters, my 16 and 18-year-old daughter, brought to me about the way that she and my mother talk to my niece. Like, my one daughter said, they're very snappy with her, and my oldest daughter says, they talk to her like she's trash. And I've observed it myself, at which point my niece becomes withdrawn and is clearly feeling probably a host of feelings because of the way she's being talked to. So I brought this up to my sister, and I was very intentional about not coming off critical, because my mother told me not to be critical, but to just lay out the observations that we had made when they came to visit us a couple weeks ago. And then my sister got snappy with me, which I anticipated, and then the conversation immediately went from her daughter as our focus, our concern, because she's 10 and all that could do to a tween girl, to my sister being the victim again. She's a single parent. The things that happened to her when she was a child, feeling probably abandoned by my mother, by myself when I went off to college, by my father, and my parents break up. She just was a victim again, and it's very difficult to have a relationship with her, a relationship of substance. We're not close at all. There's 6 years between us, but it's hard to have a relationship with her when she takes everything as a personal attack, and then she's the victim. It's always someone else doing something to her, and I don't know what to do. I feel like at 42, I don't even know how old I am, 42, about to be 43,
I have those days.
There's not much more I can do. I don't know what else to do.
Okay, so
Jill, I'm stuck.
Well, let's see what Jill and Alice have to say. Family stuff is always tricky, but I'm sure you're not the only one that's been in this situation.
Well, it is difficult when the things from the past keep creeping in, as if they are happening in the present, which that's part of why that is the main reason why we deal with the past. But it sounds like when you go to approach your sister, it's like she throws in everything in the kitchen sink, right? It gets generalized to where her wound is. And so you aren't able to talk about a current issue without it digressing. I'm wondering if your sister when she hears something negative that she perceives as negative about herself, if that's when she spirals into this pain. Some people have a really hard time receiving anything negative about themselves or perceived negative. You're trying to tend to your niece, but in doing so, she may have heard you're a bad parent. And so then she, to combat that, has this whole host of excuses. Again, that makes it really difficult. Have you ever, Mina, sat down with your sister and said, tell me everything that you have felt hurt by, that I have hurt you by as you were growing up? I want to hear it.
I've not.
Okay. I think sometimes when a person doesn't feel like the other person really gets it or understands, they keep inserting it. Now, it could be your sister maybe is kind of has a form of learned helplessness and is using this as an excuse. But it's still a real wound, regardless. It's right. Even if she's using it to deflect, it's still a real wound. And it might serve you well if you took a time out with her and just said, let's just talk about the past. Tell me what it was like for you. What was your experience? Okay. And you don't defend in any way. And she may have things wrong. It's not about the facts. It's not about correcting the facts. It's about hearing her perspective. And it's always a good line when you can say, wow, if that's the way you experienced it, I can see why it was so hurtful to you.
That's good, Jen.
Right?
That's
You're
really
not
good.
saying this is the truth. You're saying this is her experience, and you're validating her experience.
And it's so important, like you said, to listen to it without judgment, without answers. And I think when we are in relationship with people who have that learned helplessness or that victim mindset, it can be so exhausting after a while. And so you get kind of tired of listening, but literally that's the way through.
And you just want to push them away, right?
Right.
And say, I'm done.
Right.
But don't do that. Try taking the time when there isn't anything current going on necessarily, and make the focus talking about the past together.
And it also may be the reason why she's snipping at her daughter if she is in that much pain. But Alice, what do you have to offer Mina?
Mina, you are the kind of godly sister women wish they had. And you are a blessing to your sister, even though she can't see it or fully feel it right now. But what a lovely gift you gave to her by gently, intentionally bringing that to her attention. I want to add on to Jill's advice that you could lead that conversation where you ask her about her pain with, I know when I left for college you felt abandoned by me, and that's probably not the only thing. That would be a good opener. I was thinking about how researchers have found that for even healthy, relatively stable people to receive a criticism, it needs to be balanced with 5 positives, 5 compliments and acknowledgments. What is one great thing about your sister as a single mother to her daughter?
I feel like the one thing I can think of is so just, like, she throws her really nice birthday parties. That's it. Like, I've never really seen my sister be the kind of mother that I guess I would want her to be. I've never seen that. But she does throw really nice birthday parties.
It's so telling, sadly telling, that that's the only thing that comes to your mind. And it's probably true that she is immature in a lot of ways as a parent. She probably also feels that from you, that that's the only good thing you can see about her as a parent, and probably from people around her, in part because it's true. So bring that up, that you know that about her, you recall that. She just goes all out. She needs to hear about the small good thing about her, because when we call it out, it builds us up. Jesus did it beautifully, and he would call up that one good thing. He'd give a person a new name to help them grow into that. Now, there's no guarantee that it'll work, but these are the biblical ingredients that will help.
It also will help you change your mind too, Mina. Like Joe was saying before, if you are going in and not being able to hear her anymore because you've heard it all and you're kind of exhausted by it, And then to Alice's point that you can only come up with the one thing, you've kind of got her locked into this is who she is. And in any of our relationships, in order for us to expand them, we have to be able to hear all the parts of the relationship. And family is the hardest part because we have roles that we play in family and we've got routines that we've been in. I want to go back to what to do about the niece, though, because I think that's really what everybody in the family is kind of concerned about. And there's a way to approach that where you could just say, how can I help? It must be really hard to have to be on all the time as a single mom. And I don't know geographically if that's possible, but I just think sometimes we need to offer support as opposed to kind of instruction because we don't know what it's like for them. And I'm sure you have offered, Mina, but I want to say that for those who are listening who may not have thought about that before, but we have to literally walk a mile in their shoes. See, how can we support you in this process?
And it is traumatizing to be constantly criticized by a parent. It takes a toll on the soul. But if there is another stable adult in the life of that child who nurtures them and who builds them up with good words, it makes a world of difference, and it can really ameliorate the damage that's done by the critical person in the life. So that's you. You are the aunt that can swoop in and probably have and can still swoop in to help your niece.
That's good. That's good. Well, thanks, Mina, for calling. We're going to send you a copy of, is it Positive Parenting, Jill?
Purposeful Parenting.
Purposeful Parenting. I knew it had a P in the first one, but it's a great book, and you can also get a copy at 1-800-229-3000. We're going to go and we're going to talk to Jeff, who's calling us from Dallas, Texas, and listens on KWRD. Hi, Jeff. How can we help you today?
Hi, thanks for taking my call. I actually called back in March about my wife and I are separated. And at the time, we were separated. We weren't talking about divorce, and I called in, and y'all gave me some good advice about what I should do. And unfortunately, I didn't take some of that advice. So I kind of pressured her into making a decision about our marriage. And in the process, I got the book Healing is a Choice, and I've gone through it, and I've partially been through the grieving process of this separation, and I've done some counseling, and I've been doing a lot of stuff on the New Life website, watching Take Back Your Life and taking notes and everything like that.
Great.
But since then, she sent me a couple of months ago, she sent me a long email message about how our last 20 years have been and how I've affected her. And but basically, in the end, she told me she was going to file for a divorce. And that was 2 months ago. She hasn't actually filed yet, and we're still kind of like stuck, not moving forward or anything. We've kind of separated like our bank accounts and things like that, our phone lines and everything. Okay. But she hasn't actually filed for a divorce yet. Well, so since then, I've taken steps for the grieving process to try to heal myself, and going back and seeing what I've done in our marriage, the mistakes I made, and how everything like that. But since then, my dad passed away about 2 weeks ago.
Oh, so sorry.
And I've been living with my parents. Thank you. I've been living with my parents since I separated, and my dad was ill. My mom was taking care of him, and he passed away. So I'm taking on that grieving process as well as I'm taking on my mother's grieving process.
Okay.
And
so, Jeff,
I also have.
I get a big picture. You're in a lot of pain, and you're really feeling stuck. Do you have a question that you could ask Jill and Alice that maybe we could help you in this process?
Yeah. I also have a disability that limits my mobility, so I'm kind of stuck where I'm at living wise. Okay. My question is, I just feel like I'm in a hole. I'm taking on too many things at one time, and it feels like the water just is coming up, and I can't. I just don't know where to go from here. So my question is, where do I go from here with all of the stuff I've taken on?
That's really a lot. Jill or Alice?
Jeff, which of the fires that are burning in your life right now, which one is the most urgent for you?
For me, it's trying to get back with my wife. I feel like if she's waited this long, there might be some hope for us getting back together.
And have you responded to her email?
Yes, I sent her one over the weekend explaining to her that I've realized what I've done in our marriage and the places that I need to work on.
And if you gave us one
that
sentence
sort of
about the hurt you've caused her, what's one sentence about it?
Well, think about that, because we're going to take a break. You can hear the music, and then you can come back after, and we can talk about that more. I want to thank all those who are watching on YouTube right now. We love you, and we're so grateful for you. If you want to watch us on YouTube, you can. You can hit that subscribe button and see us. You can watch old shows, new shows, all kinds of shows, and it'll make a big difference in your life. But we'll be right back. We're still taking calls, 1-800-229-3000.
I came into this thinking that my husband was the cause of many of our issues.
The New Life Intimacy and Marriage Workshop is coming to Dallas, Texas, October 15th to the 17th.
But after learning about our attachment styles, I understood how our past hurts were playing into our present problems.
Join Steve Arterburn.
It's been a dream of mine for a long time to help people to grow more intimately together, and we believe that everybody has room to grow in the intimacy level of their life.
And Milan and Kay Yurkovich.
We help couples understand how their attachment style is sabotaging their current relationship. And then we teach them how to create comfort in a relationship.
And New Life's group counselors will help you focus on the area that will benefit your marriage most. To register or to find out more, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Here at this workshop, we had our first ever conversation without yelling, blaming, and accusing.
1-800-NEW-LIFE.
I was really living a very anxiety-filled life. I did go to Take Your Life Back. That's why I continue to support the ministry with the hope that not only am I helping my own situation, that I'm helping others as well.
You can help New Life Live stay on the air by joining Club New Life today. When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, we'll send you the New Life member thank you gift of the New Life Journal, 100 Days of Peace, 7 Ways to Choose Healing, Growth Has No Boundaries, a Restoration Bible, and a New Life grocery tote to hold it all. Plus, there are ongoing benefits, like access to the Club New Life video library, the monthly Club New Life CD or download, quarterly resources, free shipping on purchased resources, and discounts on workshops. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. Support Club New Life, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment, call toll-free 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
Back. We are so glad you're listening, and you too can call us at 1-800-229-3000, just like Terry just said at the break. We are talking to Jeff, and Alice asked a very important question. Jeff, did you have a way to think about that in the break?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead.
Could you ask the question again?
Yep. If you just gave us a brief description of how you've hurt your wife, really the content of that email, what's the bottom line?
I've basically had a bad attitude about things, and, just kind of complaining, and my anxiety, I have a high anxiety problem. So it's basically my anxiety and my bad attitude. She just got tired of it.
And do you know that to be true about you?
Yes, I do. I have realized that I went back and realized what I've done. I mean, how I've acted and what caused it, and I've
I respect your humility. That is a hard thing to accept, hard description to accept about yourself. I admire that you know there's truth there. What have you proposed, if anything, to your wife since she said she was going to file for divorce?
Her communication with me is limited. She won't discuss anything. We're on a friendly basis, but as far as those kind of discussions go, she won't talk to me. I told her the things I have done to improve myself, and I've told her what I told you, that I realized that my attitude and everything, how it affected our marriage. And I basically told her that I'm working to change, and I still had a lot of work to do, but I'm doing it. And I told her that I accepted who I was and who I am and who I can be. And
have you asked her? Have you asked her if she would participate with you in any structured help?
I've been avoiding that, so no.
Why are you avoiding it?
Because she won't talk to me.
I have a
really
question,
don't know.
Jeff. I have a question, Jeff. Are you working with a therapist?
I had been working one previously, but it wasn't a good choice for me. So
Okay.
I said I've been doing a little work on the website of New Life, but I'm still trying to find a counselor to help me.
Okay,
One that
well,
I
we
need.
can help you do that. Joe, what would you...
well, I'm wondering, so Jeff, the advice that we gave you 5 months ago that you didn't follow but wished you had, do you remember what that advice was?
It was, you told me to basically back off and let her have her time and her space and not pressure her.
Okay.
So I pressured her.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now it sounds like you realize that didn't work. So now the focus is you getting some help, because it's one thing to tell her that you realize all these things and that you realize that you were wrong, but it's another thing for her to actually see you doing something proactive to change it.
Right.
And
Right.
I've said this before, but we women a lot of times will say no, 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 no. But if you show us something different, we may then turn around and notice. And so, not that you wouldn't respect her no, okay? I don't want to give that impression at all. You respect her no, you give her the space, you adhere to her boundaries. But at the same time, I don't think you give up hope yet, because she hasn't filed. And so you get proactive, you get with a therapist, you come to, one of our workshops. And Jeff, I think that you also struggle with depression. Certainly,
Yes.
with all the grief that's happening right now. And I would like to see you have an appointment with a doctor to talk about this, because often
I've actually been on
Go ahead.
I've actually been on an antidepressant for the last 5 months.
Okay, good.
And I'm coming out of the deep depression. I'm getting higher up, I'm getting to feeling better.
Good.
But it's like everything that I'm going through is forcing me down. I just got to keep fighting,
Well, so here's the thing that we always say about depression or even treatment with medication. It's very, very important, very powerful. However, it's only half of the treatment. There has to be talk therapy going on. There has to be some sort of structure that helps you continue to grow. And like you just said, Jeff, you've had so much happen to you. The loss of a parent is pretty devastating, but on top of all the other things that you're dealing with. And then you mentioned that you were taking on your mom's grief too, which isn't really yours to take on, but you're feeling it because you're with her. So there's lots of things that are kind of draining you. And I would just encourage you, if you can't find somebody, we can help you find somebody in the area that you are. We got lots of great people in that area. But I'm glad you read Healing's a Choice. I don't know. You guys, do you have any thoughts about what book you'd like to send to Jeff?
Take Your Life Back?
Well, I think that's a good one.
Yeah, that's
Jill.
just
I do
fine.
think that's good. And go ahead, Alice. I was just going to encourage him to attend Emotional Freedom Workshop this Saturday too.
Jeff, your avoidance and your delay sends a message to your wife unintentionally that you don't care enough to get with the next therapist faster or to ask her into couples therapy. And I can understand your fear feeding the avoidance and delay, but it looks to her like you don't care enough. Yeah. Consider asking for an increase on that antidepressant. You may need an adjustment there. And I also want you to think about and look into boundaries, because you may need to tell your mom, I need to take a break from this. I'm working on my marriage, working on my wife. my situation with my wife, you may not be able to be as available to her as she needs you to be, but you need to choose your wife as much as possible in the work you're doing on yourself.
That's great, Alice. It just goes to show you it's more than one thing. We'll be right back.
For most of my life, I've been dealing with an opiate addiction.
Why is opioid addiction quickly becoming one of our nation's biggest killers? Maybe it's because it isn't only those who are addicted who are in denial.
We did what I see so many parents do, is it can't be an addiction. There's something medically wrong.
It's impossible to solve a problem when you don't know what you're up against, and families will try to find any explanation except the one that will put them on the right path.
Alcoholism and drug addiction is a family disease. It doesn't affect just the individual.
If someone you love is abusing painkillers, know what you're up against. It's time to admit it's addiction and seek treatment. Call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We have Christ-centered partner treatment centers around the country. Call 1-800-639-5433 or visit us online at newlife.com.
We just made a decision. We will do whatever it takes.
1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
Your ministry has saved my life.
If you struggle with emotional hurt, family or marriage problems, the pit of depression, or the pain of addictions, we can help.
I'm down 100 pounds now from what I was.
You guys are awesome. You're a blessing to America.
Our treatment programs provide clinically appropriate solutions from licensed professionals, all in the biblical framework.
I have had problems with alcohol. I think God has ordained this place to be His.
You don't have to be a prisoner of your pain. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
She tells me that I'm a new man, and I feel like a new man.
It worked for me, and it can work for them too.
This time it is different.
If you're ready to take the first step toward genuine spiritual and emotional healing, please call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433.
We're glad you joined us for New Life Live. To be a part of the program, call 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
Welcome back. We would love for you to join us today on the phones. We're going to take your calls for the next hour and a half at 1-800-229-3000.
And if you ever have had trouble getting in, we got a line or two open. So this is a good day to risk calling.
There you go.
Quickly.
Well, and when you give in August, our gift to you is the brand new book, Understanding and Loving Your Child with ADHD. Steve and Michael Ross wrote this book. I'm holding it up too. Yeah. Jill's holding it up. I'm holding it up. It's like Vanna White here. With school coming on, it is a great time if you have a child that you think or may even be diagnosed with it. It can be very helpful as you kind of, go through this school year. It can be really challenging for kids. We're also, we are putting together a workshop called Fearless Parenting. New Life has never done a parenting workshop ever, and it's going to be online, and you can find out all of the details at newlife.com. But right now, we are going to talk to, we're going to talk to Ann, who's calling from Bedford, Texas, and listens on KWRD. Hi, Ann. How can we help you today?
Yes, thank you so much for taking my call.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I have a situation. My kids told me that my best friend's daughter, who's 16, has been posting on Snapchat inappropriate pictures with guys and girls. And they've told me this for, I hate to say it, several years, but I haven't ever seen it. But my son apparently got a screenshot. So he did show me. And, I don't want to... Well, and her daughter has been in trouble before. She knows that she's done stuff in the past. She did some drugs at school and passed out and ended up in the alternative school for 30 days. And she thought, she's given her back her privileges with her phone and everything. And so she was, hoping that she had, were making good decisions. And now she's not. And I'm thinking about being passive aggressive and just saying, hey, I heard this situation, on the radio about this. Would you want to be the kind of parent that would want to know what's going on with your daughter? Or, because I would want to be a parent that would want to know, so I could be proactive. So I don't know if I could get away with that, and be, but like I said, I don't.
If you said it to your friend, how do you think she'd respond?
I don't know. Well, maybe in the past she'd go, I want to know, but now, like I said, she's so happy that she thinks her daughter is turned the page and making better decisions.
So you don't want to bust her bubble, right, Ann?
I don't want to bust her bubble.
Yeah, Ann, have you thought about...
to get mad at my kids, for saying something.
Right. But have you thought about leading with empathy about how you know how much she has been through with her daughter and how happy she is that things have turned around? And in this time, right, as kids are turning around, there are still things that grab them. And you're aware of some things. Does she want to know? And that you totally understand if she doesn't. I mean, I would be more straightforward with her and say, I'm not, I don't want to, I would say, I don't want to burst your bubble.
Right.
And it's not a huge deal, but it's,
And she may already know. That's the hard part. It's like she may already know, which you would think that she would do something about it, but we don't have control 100% of the time of our teens, which that's the challenge, right? But I think it's on your heart, Ann, for a reason. And I think that there could be a lot of good that could come out of that conversation.
And you have to evaluate the friendship, too. Is this a friend that you think can receive from you? Are you guys close enough?
How much does it scare you that your friend could be upset with you and your children? Give us a rating, 0 to 10. How high does that fear spike?
Well, I mean, I guess it's an 8. It's just because I don't have a lot of close friends. I'm not one who just surrounds himself with. So I've got like 2 really good close friends.
Are you afraid you might lose the friendship over this?
Well, I don't think so.
Has she ever rejected you? Has she ever rejected you before because you brought tough truth to her?
No. We're both pretty open. And I hate to say it, my kids have done stuff, but they're older now. They're over 18, so I can't control what my kids do. And we've shared with both of us, what's what.
So Ann, I think she's reminding you of somebody else in your life, and you're afraid of the reaction that maybe you got from that other person. Who does she remind you of that probably did reject you when you did the right thing?
That's so funny how you say that, because I feel like I'm being rejected by my dad passed away. And, my sister, Reedy's sister, came and got everything, and then they were spreading lies about me, but they know it's not true, but she never apologized. But my mom took her side, but now she knows she lied.
Whoa.
And so, I lost my dad. He's my rock. And my mom believed my sister, and she got her whole family against me, even though it broke my heart because they know who I am. So, oh my gosh, you are so good. Because that's it. I mean, I'm just afraid of losing a really good friend.
And Ann, rightly so. Your heart is a raw nerve right now, and the people that were supposed to stick by you are not sticking by you. But you're putting onto your friend what your family members are doing, and your friend actually sounds like she's a pretty decent friend, and she might even receive this from you. And even if she doesn't want that truth, it doesn't sound like she will reject you. But I also think about this bigger obligation that I think you're also motivated by, Ann, because you're a believer, right?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
We both are.
Your friend is too. I figured she would be. So you know that God tells us when we see ongoing, especially unrepentant sin, that it's our job as believers to lovingly point it out. Otherwise, we're actually held somewhat responsible that we didn't say anything. So you would be doing the right thing by your friend, by her daughter, by your children, because you're even modeling for your kids. When you see a concern about a friend, you bring it up lovingly. And mom can do this, and mom can model this. And you're doing the right thing by your beliefs in God. And he rewards and blesses for that.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, the hard part, Ann, is actually doing it. You've been feeling this for a long time. And like Jill said, if you lead with empathy and even share with her, you know, I've had a lot of losses, you know that, and I'm kind of scared to say this, but I'm concerned for your daughter because I know you guys have worked so hard, and I would want you to tell me. And I think that really, if you can lead with that, you're going to find that you're going to connect with her and her need. And I just think that's the big challenge for all of us all the time, isn't it? It's like, how can we speak the truth in love to the people that we do love and we care about? I think...
We need to ask for reassurance about relationships too. I do this frequently in my relationships. I might say, I'm feeling insecure and nervous. Could you talk to me about, what you think of the quality of our friendship and your care for me and your love for me? I know you do, but I really need to hear it right now. Would you mind telling me? It's a very odd thing to ask, but it nurtures the soul to be reminded and to hear it out loud.
Yeah. We're going to send...
I think, too, I just want to add, when you love another person's child and when you truly do and you care about them and you can name good qualities in them and things you notice, then they often know it's not coming from a critical heart or I'm a better parent than you. It's like, I really deeply care for your child and see them as a unique individual,
right.
One of God's children.
And we want the best. And, looking back, you want to know that you did everything possible, with a good heart to help the situation. We appreciate you calling, Ann. I know that met a lot of people's questions because, this is a social media saturated world where teens are getting into trouble, whether their parents know it or not. We're going to send you a copy of the Restoration Bible. I think that'll encourage you. Every week I get to make calls to folks who are in our Club New Life family who support us. Club New Life is a monthly giving program that we have here at New Life to help us do everything from the radio to the workshops to our counselor network. And if you would like to join and be part of that family, just give us a call today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We put together this Time with God welcome gift that's got 100 Days of Peace devotional, a New Life journal, a Restoration Bible, 7 Ways to Choose Healing, Growth Has No Boundaries, and you get to put it all in a grocery bag. I tell you, the folks that I talk to each week always say it seems like so little to give because of what they've received from New Life, that their life has totally changed and they wish they could give more. And I always say back to them, we appreciate every dollar and we love our Club New Life family. So if you're listening and you're a Club New Lifer, thank you so much. If you are listening and you haven't yet given, maybe today's the day. And you give us a call at 1-800-NEW-LIFE and start to support what we're about, which is new life, transformation, and godly counsel. We'll be right back after the break.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn from New Life Live, and Chris Williams and I are doing the Emotional Freedom Workshop. A lot of people are you could literally say, in bondage from past trauma that has created an emotional web that they don't understand, and it prevents them from being free. A person that loses their temper regularly is not emotionally free. Someone who has anxiety just to get in the car and leave the house is not emotionally free. And walking around with the shame from a childhood or even a bad relationship as an adult, that is not emotional freedom, and we can help you get there.
The New Life Emotional Freedom Online Workshop is Saturday, August 14th. Steve Arterburn and Chris Williams will present information on the power of our emotions, procrastination, guilt and shame, and more. And small group leaders will help you process the information you learn. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE or register online at newlife.com.
I was really living a very anxiety-filled life. I did go to Take Your Life Back. That's why I continue to support the ministry with the hope that not only am I helping my own situation, that I'm helping others as well.
You can help New Life Live stay on the air by joining Club New Life today. When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, we'll send you the New Life member thank you gift of the New Life Journal, 100 Days of Peace, 7 Ways to Choose Healing, Growth Has No Boundaries, a Restoration Bible, and a New Life grocery tote to hold it all. Plus, there are ongoing benefits, like access to the Club New Life video library, the monthly Club New Life CD or download, quarterly resources, free shipping on purchased resources, and discounts on workshops. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. Support Club New Life, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Welcome back. We were just talking about extermination.
We give each other advice.
Yes, we do.
Pesticide advice during the break.
Well, it's funny because, we were talking about how to get rid of ants, and my immediate thought went to what Dr. Amon says. Ants are the automatic negative thoughts. I mean,
yes,
I'm like, yes, how do
right?
we get rid of those? Yeah. But anyway, we are still taking your calls for the next hour, so give us a call at 1-800-229-3000, and maybe we can help you with your ant problem. We're going to talk to Janet, who's calling us from Olympia, Washington, listens on KACS. Hi, Janet. How can we help you today?
Oh, good morning. Thank you for your time.
Okay.
Yeah, I have probably an unusual question, but
ooh, we like those.
I would really appreciate. I've been struggling with this for quite some time, and I've done my best to deal with it, but I would like you guys to help me understand why my friend doesn't understand the importance of keeping his hands clean in between the different things that you would do throughout a day.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like just a brief synopsis of my background. I was raised by a grandma that taught me to do things and do it very, very well.
Mm-hmm.
And I've managed nursing homes, and I understand COVID and follow the protocol on keeping things, protocol, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just the way you should wash your hands, like, not just regarding that, but his brother was a perfectionist, and his last wife and girlfriend, they were kind of a boss, and they were somewhat perfectionist. So I'm looking at his past and mine. But then I'm also looking at, these are just 2 or 3 examples. One would be he puts everything, let's say on my desk. The other day he put a bag that was on the floor. I have 2 cats. Well, you don't take a bag and put it on my clean desk. I wash my card table, and
So it's a source of contention in your relationship, right, Janet? Like it sounds like you've requested him to do things differently. Yeah. He's not willing to go along with it for whatever reason.
And does he have a great deal of interaction with you, so he's in your space frequently?
Yeah, he's in my space enough where he cleans my litter boxes and then comes up and wants to do something in the kitchen without washing his hands. And I have to say, hey, you just went, or like an example, you just went out the garbage to the dumpster. Why are you, like I say, hey, can you wipe the cookie sheet with a Clorox wipe? Because that's what I put my ice packs on to do my back.
What you're describing makes sense, that he won't comply with your level, your level of cleanliness that you want in your home. Does he live with you?
Well, he's got his own apartment, but he's here a lot. I don't know.
And are you in a romantic relationship or moving in that direction?
No and no.
And does he want to?
it used to be that way years and years ago, but I'm just trying to understand if it's a habitual thing with him, or if it's a rebellion thing with him, or he doesn't understand what dirt is.
And do you want him around despite this habit of his?
I was hoping, well, yeah, he's like the only person in my whole life that does anything for me, including my family and any other friends. And
so you depend on him.
It's like,
and you need his help.
Somewhat, but
so on some levels, he's a caring person in your life. He cares for you.
He's caring to many. He cares for a lot of people in a lot of wonderful ways. He has a gentle part of him way down deep that's very giving, very kind, unselfish, and he has a lot of good qualities. I just don't.
And when you point out your concern and your complaints, how does he receive your concern? How does he talk about it with you?
You want to really know it?
Yes, please.
All you do is, sometimes it's nothing, just really quiet, reserved, and not say nothing. Other times it might be, you're always, like bitching about something. Or you're a germaphobic, but I'm not. I watch and pay attention. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, it's clear that you have different levels of awareness, and some people do. And you were trained to be very aware of your environment and to have a high sense of integrity about hygiene and cleanliness. Not everybody is trained in that way. In fact, I know it's really hard to understand. Some people are completely oblivious. And sometimes, depending on how the brain works, some people are 10 steps ahead of what their hands are doing, and it doesn't occur to them. I've often commented, I have a son that's ADHD. He never shuts a drawer or puts a cap back on things, on the toothpaste, on different things. Now, this is a kid that's now 20, and no matter how many times we talk to him about it, his brain moves so fast that it just doesn't occur to him to follow through. So we have to do a lot of things to help him and to increase his level of awareness. But it's not malicious. It's not intentional. And I know that about my son. I think sometimes it's hard, again, when you have such a keen awareness, it sounds like it's really hard to understand that someone else may not be gifted in that way. And so to really look at his heart, what is his intention? Is his intention to do you harm? Or is this one of the areas where he's just really blinded? And does he know how much, not in a negative kind of nitpicky way, but have you ever sat down and said how important this is to you and how much it makes you uncomfortable to have perhaps germs brought into your home and to have such a kind of casual or carelessness about them, and that it actually brings you a lot of distress.
And when we have conversations like that, Janet, outside of the problem happening, it takes it out of the nagging zone.
Right.
And it allows us to speak about it calmly, and it lowers the defenses of the person with whom we're speaking. And you might ask him, how should I handle this when I see things that bother me? How could you hear about that from me? How could I ask about it differently? And I actually do want to know, is it unintentional? Or, is there some wedge between us? I want to know about it. But if we can ask those questions in that calm, warm voice, adding in, because I care about you, you help me so much, I really like the help that you give me, then another person can receive it better from us than pointing it out in the moment that it's happening.
And that is a great...
Right.
We're getting up against the clock, but I think it's such a great, it doesn't matter what the issue is. Those are key parts of having those difficult conversations, right? About whatever the issue is. We're going to send you a copy of Take Your Life Back, Janet. I think that'll help you in that. But I appreciate you calling. I appreciate all of you who are calling today. You can call us 1-800-229-3000. We're going to continue to take your calls. We have so many great workshops for you to check out. Look at newlife.com and all kinds of resources there. We appreciate you listening, and we're thankful for Dr. Jill and Dr. Alice, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433, or write to us at New Life Ministries, P.O. Box 1029, Lake Forest, California, 92609. Please join us again tomorrow for New Life Live.
Hi, thank you for watching New Life Live. You know, New Life Live is a Christian counseling program where we deal with the hard questions about life, relationships, kids, free choice, freedom of will, whatever. It's all right there on New Life Live every day, every weekday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. If you want to call into the live broadcast, you can find the schedule on newlife.com or click the social media link right below. You can see every episode of New Life Live on the New Life YouTube channel. Watch it with a friend, watch it later. Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell so you'll never miss another episode. So if you want to listen on the go, download the app. The link is right below. And I hope if you need some information, if you want to get some help, you'll call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. And I'll see you next time.